Hey there, welcome back everybody. Dan here with Plant Abundance. I'm out here in the backyard food forest with my wife Alice.
Hello.
We've got a beautiful day here and we decided to spend it getting some more things done in the garden. This was Alice's choice of garden duties. This is one of the things you prefer to do, huh sweetie?
Yes, I love to do this. This is the one that I'm doing in the Philippines before when I was a kid.
And you're good at it. You can see she's just processing down some of the limbs off some of the trees that we had removed from the property. So she's just breaking it down. And by doing it like this, we've got different fuel sources and different uses for the wood. The smaller stuff like this can be used to feed our rocket stove, which is our off-grid cooking stove that we use, utilizing wood chips and branches. Over here, these can also be used for cooking with the rocket stove. Because these are mostly fresh pieces of wood, we'll set them aside, let them dry out. While Alice is busy breaking down all this wood, I've got about 10 different projects out in the garden that I've been working on. I'm just kind of going from project to project, keeping it fresh. I don't like doing one particular job for too long at one time. It's good ergonomics, in my opinion, to switch up your different tasks so that you're not doing a repetitive motion for too long. Check out the white nectarine here. We've got some really nice fruit set, and the fruit's pretty well spaced out on the tree as well. But this is the best this tree's ever looked. Really happy about that. Next door we've got the Florida King peach. Quick update on that. Again, the fruit sets have hung on the tree without any thinning. I'm probably going to need to get in here and pull some of these fruits off. It's just very dense. You can still get your fruit trees at a lot of your nurseries. I'm a big fan of growing perennial plants, as you know, if you've been tuning in for some time. It's plant it once and reap the harvest for many, many years. In some cases, 50 plus years. So why not? Why not get a fruit tree or two in the ground? And it also got me thinking, because I am doing some planting of vegetable starts today. I just wanted to send out a reminder, a message to you guys that hardware stores are open, nurseries are still open. In most cases, they are classified as essential businesses during this global shutdown, lockdown, because of the situation we're dealing with. So you can still get out there, get your plants. It's an essential part of your plan, in my opinion, to get growing. Spring has just arrived. There's plenty of time to start getting your plants in the ground. And with that being said, what I wanted to talk about really in this video was, what are the top 5 plants that you can grow, in my opinion, my experience, that are going to give you the most food production? And we're talking about vegetables. And the other good thing about the list I'm going to share with you today is that most of these plants can be purchased at your local nurseries, readily available. Here's a few. I'm going to start over here. As you can see, I picked up a variety of plants. We've got number 1 on the list, I'm going to say pretty obvious, is the tomato plant. Now, one single tomato plant can produce many, many pounds of food. If you're harvesting just 1 tomato, 2 tomatoes a day, you can get months of produce off of just 1 tomato plant. But grow 2 or 3 and have more than you need. It's always better to have more than not enough. So that's number 1, is grow tomato plants. Number 2, I'm going to say grow zucchini, other squashes as well. They're both very prolific, provide enormous amounts of food with very low maintenance. Zucchinis, they'll be producing new zucchinis every single day. So if you're a gardener, or you've been into gardening for some time, you already know this, but there's a lot of folks that are just getting into gardening for the first time. They realize, with everything that we've been going through, how important it is to take care of some of these things and make sure that you have fresh organic food on demand right in your yard. So that's really what this is about, sharing with you, again, 5 plants that you can be growing right now that are going to produce an enormous amount of food for you with very little effort. So number 2, zucchini. If you can't get zucchini, but you definitely can, other squashes like crookneck would be great as well. Spaghetti squash is another good one, but we'll keep that all as number 2. Number 3, eggplants. You might think you don't like eggplants, but I'll tell you, they're a very versatile vegetable. You can throw them into soups, stews, you can saute them. One of our favorite dishes here is to take some of our backyard chicken eggs and make what's called eggplant. I forget the name of it. Alice stepped away. Torta. Anyway, I'll ask her in a minute, but there's a lot of different ways that you can utilize the eggplant. Very prolific plant. A lot of times you can get them in 6-pack containers at your nursery, so you can get 6 plants for just a few bucks, and you're going to get many, many pounds of food off that plant. So that's number 3, grow some eggplant. Number 4, this is one that's not very commonly found as a plant start, but the seeds are available pretty much at any gardening center or online, and it's one of my favorite plants, very prolific, produces a lot of food, and that's the Armenian cucumber. Armenian cucumber is actually in the melon family, closely related to the cantaloupe, but it tastes very much like a cucumber. It has a very similar texture, and they're just wonderful for all sorts of things, slicing up, putting into your salad. I love making juices out of them. They're delicious out of hand. You can pickle them. They're very large. I've made many videos on Armenian cucumbers. In fact, I'll drop a link below on the video here so you can check out some of those videos, but grow Armenian cucumbers. That's going to be the 4th vegetable that I recommend. And last, but definitely not least, and there are plenty of others out there, is going to be peppers. Peppers are very prolific, and they actually have a lot of health benefits, especially peppers like cayenne. They definitely have their place in your medicinal cabinet as well as your food pantry, and you can dry peppers out and you can preserve them, keep them for some time. I've got a little array here that I picked up. I've got some serrano peppers, which I really like. Slicing up, throwing them in my salad is my favorite way to enjoy them. I've got some jalapenos. Jalapenos, of course, everyone knows jalapenos. Bell peppers, just whatever kind of peppers you can get your hands on, that would be what I'd recommend. So that's my top 5. If you've got a favorite crop that you would want to share with everyone that you think they should be growing, a crop that produces a lot of food, low maintenance, please share that by commenting on this video down below so that other folks that are tuned in, that are in this community, can get that info, and we can all grow as much as we can, which is going to just make everyone's life a lot better in many, many ways. I just want to share this with you as well. I've got some basil here. Different herbs are always nice to grow. Basil, very versatile. And here's another tip for you. Whenever I go to the nursery or the hardware store and pick up starts, one thing I look for is multiple plants growing in one pot. And you can see here, there are 5 basil plants growing in this pot. Very easy to separate. In fact, I will separate this on camera for you right now to show you how it's done. But you can see here I've got some zucchini, and we've got 4 plants in here. So 4 plants for the price of 1. 4 zucchini plants is going to produce an abundance of zucchini, way more than we're going to eat around here. So you can see how you can get a lot of value, even with the cost of buying these plant starts going up so high. You can definitely look for these multi plants in one pot. Like here, we've got 2 serrano peppers. So there are certain times where these have grown together just too much. The roots are too bunched together, and I don't want to damage both plants, so I might cut one back. But in most cases, they're very easy to separate. Here we've got a Sweet 100 tomato, and there's 2 plants in there. 2 of those growing in our garden is more than enough. Anyway, let's separate out the sweet basil. I'll show you how I do it. Very, very easy. I like to use a container so I can keep all the soil and reuse it, but you don't need a container to do this. Anyway, we're going to empty this out. Now this is actually the perfect amount of roots, in my opinion, for separating your plants out. Any denser than this, it can be a little bit harmful to the plants, but usually they'll still survive. Anyway, instead of just ripping this ball of roots open, I'm going to take a little bit of water here and gently blast away some of the soil. All right, so most of the soil is now gone, and you can just see the roots here. And now I'm just going to gently tease these plants a little bit. Do not force it. You're probably going to have a little bit of rippage on the roots, but you shouldn't be hearing that ripping sound. just take it a little slow. And I'm just wiggling and grabbing kind of towards the base of the plant that I'm separating here. As soon as I start hearing a little bit of a ripping noise, I'll move to the next one. All right, here comes one. Oh. So we got 2 here. Boom. Here's 2 plants. All right, 3 plants, 4 and 5. Check it out. So that's how easy it is to maximize your purchasing potential here. Save yourself some money, some big money actually, and multiply the amount of plants that you can grow. So I'm going to get these in the ground, and we're going to have ourselves 5 different sweet basil plants. These are very easy to propagate from cuttings too once they begin to grow. They also grow well indoors on a windowsill, in the kitchen, or under some simple under-counter LED lights, which I've also made a video about installing. Very easy to do. Again, check the description box below if you're interested in checking that video out. Anyway, everyone, I want to thank you for tuning in today. I sure hope you found some time to get out in the garden, get at least one thing planted or something accomplished. If you found it helpful or entertaining in any way, I sure would appreciate if you smash that thumbs for me and shoot that comment below. It helps the channel to grow. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. New uploads every week, sometimes every day. And I'm always uploading and giving you updates on everything growing on back here in the backyard food forest. So with that, take care. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. I'll be talking to you again real soon. Bye now.